right. So we get to start. So, hello, Amy. Thank you for coming along today. I'm glad you're here. I believe this is your first time with our organisation.
Yep.
Have you ever experienced counselling, head counselling, or anything similar in the past?
Nope.
No? So this is very new for you?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah? You're okay with that?
Yeah.
Yeah?
It's a bit awkward.
Well, just relax.
I'm trying to.
Okay, I can see that. A little bit nervous about this. That's pretty normal. It is a little different. Before we get into the session and talk about what you've come here today to talk about, I just want to go over a few things about the nature of counselling and what my role is. Are you okay with that?
Yeah.
If we do that?
Sure.
Okay. So, to begin with, I just need to explain what counselling is and a little bit about confidentiality. I'm sure that some of what you want to share today is sensitive, so you brought it here. So I want you to know that counselling sessions and what we talk about today is confidential, but there is some limitation with that. So I do, because I work in this profession, there are a couple limitations to confidentiality. So do you mind if I just run those through very quickly? So you know exactly what's going on. And so in terms of confidentiality, just letting you know, if you share anything that I believe will be harm to you or harm to someone else, then I'm legally required to report that for your own well-being. It's part of duty of care. Also, with regard to mandatory reporting, if you share anything about minors or children that may be at harm or something you even know about, then I'm legally required to report that. Also, incidences for my own development and to be better at helping you, facilitating the process, I do supervision sessions. And so as part of that, I sometimes bring cases and get a different perspective. It's part of professional development for us, but I don't use any names. But that's also very confidential. In essence, basically, it's a counsellor for a counsellor. Okay. So are you okay with that, knowing that this is confidential, but there are some legal and practical things?
Yeah.
Okay. And also, I do take notes on occasion if you see me taking notes, but they're also kept securely. No one has access to anything without your permission.
Okay.
You're okay with that? Great. So, let's begin. You good?
Yep.
So, what brings you here today? What's the issue you would like to bring and talk about?
Not so much currently in my life, but I have some, I wouldn't say I call it trauma, but some just bad memories of some relationships I had while I was in school. It's not so much affecting me today. It's just affecting, well, it is. It's like affecting how I go into new relationships now. There's I'm not very trustworthy, so
okay.
some issues.
So you had some relationship issues at school.
Yeah.
And there is still some of that is still affecting you today.
Yeah. I find it really difficult to get in relationships with people of my own gender. So.
Okay, so with other girls, women, you're finding some struggles there, and you believe it's based on some struggles and challenges you had at school. Yeah. Okay, can you describe what that is for you?
What do you mean?
In terms of the struggles that you're currently having, how does that manifest? I mean, how do those struggles present in your life, and what way is it a struggle? In your own words, there's no rules here. Just whatever works for you.
It's not really, and like I said, I think it's like an underlying like issue with me placing trust in others. I can't open up to people now because I've been hurt by people I thought I was close with, and they outright just disregarded me. But yeah, so I struggle to really connect with people, or well, connect with like girls, because I view it as like, I almost negatively view all girls as like, you know, bitching and just all that.
Yeah.
And it's just, I tend to stay away, and I find males are just more like forward, outright. They're simple, not to be offending, but like there's no underlying intentions, or which I seem to encounter with girls, or I think I encounter with girls. I don't know.
So if I understand correctly, you're saying that you find relating with girls, there tends to be a lot more tension and underlying...
or I'm thinking there is.
Or you're thinking there is.
And there may not necessarily be, and like I've missed out on good relationships because of my thinking too much, or sensitive.
Sure.
So...
But not with guys.
Well, there has been with guys, but that...
But you mentioned that you find guys more upfront and direct.
Yeah, so I can almost take like a guy not liking me as a friend or whatever, as like face value, whereas girls, they don't do that. They tend to be like, I don't like you, but I like you on face value, so it just messes you up.
And what would you like to accomplish? What would you what do you want to work on?
Probably sorry.
No, you're right.
Probably sort out just trusting, like, from a blank slate with people, rather than like forcing my own like opinion of them already. Like just dealing with my sensitivity and when meeting new people, which I feel like a lot of people deal with, but it's just many relationships have ended like that. So
you've had some relationships end badly.
Yeah. Or it's not, they haven't ended badly, they've just, I haven't held on to them. They've drifted apart because I'm just not ready to take the next level of friendship. So
you're saying that some of the relationships with other girls you've had have not gone as deep or connected as well, if I understand correctly, because there's some trust issues there because of past experiences, and you want to deal with those trust issues so you can relate without that impeding or hindering building deeper relationships. Yeah? Great. So, when did these trust issues originally appear for you? When did they develop? You mentioned about school friends.
Yeah. So I grew up pretty normally. I was very trusting, almost like from now I think I was pretty naive. But I had a really good friend, and she kind of didn't really. We didn't really become friends because we related to things. We became friends because like our class was so small and we were the only two that really got along, even though our likes and dislikes were totally different. So when we graduated to a different year, she kind of went off on her own, and I always used to hang out with the boys and her, and she was a girly girl, so she didn't like hanging out with boys, so she went and hang out with the rest of the girls, because my year was weird and there was a huge separation between like all the boys played together and all the girls played together, and I was kind of for a while the one who went between back and forth, played with girls, played with the guys. So that may be some reasons why I have major distrust between the two genders, because I kind of went back and forth. But why I think I'm so like untrustworthy is probably because later in the years, I don't know, I had a little physical argument with one of the guys. I was a tomboy, so
Mhm.
It had happened before, but this guy happened to be quite popular among my year, and what basically happened was the whole entire year kind of alienated me, and
Wow.
so
That must have been really hard.
yeah, so I kind of got to realize who was really my friends and not, and
Sounds like there's a lot of disappointment there.
yeah, and just hurt. I thought some people were my friends, and I had them like say to my face that they only liked me because I hang out with these people or stuff. So trust issues kind of developed. So
sounds like felt betrayed.
oh yeah, definitely. So after that, I'd enter relationships with girls, and I'd just outright like subconsciously was like, it's just lip service. You don't actually mean that. Just saying this because I took everything. I didn't take anything at face value.
At face value.
Yeah.
So just clarify for me, make sure I really understand what you're saying. So you had a really good friend at school. You were very close. Used to hang out together. She went and hung out with other girls to do the girly thing.
Yeah. How I went from that one person was originally before that one person, I was just hanging with boys. So I just grew up. So I was in year 3. So I was already, I don't know, year 3? 9, I think. So 9.
So was the relationship ever restored, or
No.
it was never restored?
No.
That must be disappointing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it wasn't. That particular girl, we didn't necessarily part in bad ways. She was just the factor of me going into more friends with girls. So I got less and less. We kind of drifted almost like a year after I started hanging out with her group of friends, and I don't talk to her at all anymore. So, but she's still nice. I don't know. We don't talk or anything. Not that I wouldn't want to. I also just don't see her as. I wouldn't hang with her.
Okay, so the friendship is not there, and you don't think it'd be able to be restored.
Yeah.
No.
No.
But your desire in being here is knowing that's happened. You don't want that to be impediment to build relationship with other girls.
Yeah.
And you believe that experience of what felt like betrayal for you has created these trust issues that now is hindering you from really building a trusting, deep relationship.
Yeah, opening up with
Opening
other
up,
friends.
yeah. Really good. Opening up. But that's not an issue with the guys because you hung with the guys at school.
Yeah, because the guys for me are like just forward, up front, and they'll just tell you like how it is. So, not saying that means everything's dandy. It's just with girls, it's just like layers. Yeah. And you get exhausted and just can't deal with it. So you'd rather just not go.
So I think we're pretty clear on what the goal here is to really work on trust issues, and dealing with some of the blockages with the distrust and the pain, and some of your reservations because of that betrayal, and work on some ways of building deeper relationship with some female friends.
Just being able to not like subconsciously think things.
Yeah, and working on the thought life.
Yeah, just clean slate.
Your thoughts, your feelings, clean slate. New start. That sounds great.
Being able to open up once that there's an opportunity in a relationship and not shutting it down.
Well, I think we're pretty clear on what your goal is here. So we're about out of time now. So if this counselling is something that you would like to continue with, be happy to facilitate that. We just need to work out a suitable time for you.
Yep.
A suitable time that works with us. And so in finishing up today, we do have an agreement that I'd like you to look at. If you choose to go ahead with the counselling sessions, we run a minimum of 6 sessions. I think that would probably be a good place to start to work through this issue. We just have a little bit of documentation to fill out, and if you're comfortable moving forward, the details of cost and time and all those things can be worked out. And the signature actually has to do with consent, with what I mentioned up front at the beginning with confidentiality. So, great. Well, let's work that out, and we'll see you next time. We'll begin to work on some of those issues.
Okay, thank you.
Great.